Let's prove that the derivative of cosine x is equals to negative sine x, or if the f of x equals cosine x, then the f prime of x is equals to negative cosine x. We know also that the transcendental identity, or we have the limits of transcendental, that the sine h over h as h goes to 0 equals 1, and the limit of 1 minus cosine h over h as h goes to 0 equals 0. By the definition of derivative, we also know that the limit of f of x plus h minus f of x all over h as h goes to 0 is the derivative of f of x. So therefore, if our f of x equals cosine x, we can say that this one is equivalent to cosine of x plus h minus cosine of x all over h. And by this identity, we can have cos minus sine x, sine h, okay, minus cosine x, okay, all over h. We have to write here the limit of as h goes to 0, okay. So we have to factor now the cosine x, and what remains, we have the cosine of x, and this one is cosine h, okay, minus this one is 1 all over h, okay, and then this one is minus sine of x, sine of h, okay. And we know that this one is as h goes to 0 is equal to 1, so we got cosine x, and we've got here this is 1 or cosine 0 minus 1 all over h minus the limit of sine x, sine h all over h as h goes to 0. We know that this one is equal to 1. 1 minus 1 is 0 times cosine x, or we can have a negative of 1 minus cosine h all over h is equals to 0, and that is 0 times cosine x is equals to 0, minus this one, we know that this is equivalent to limit of sine h over h times sine x as h goes to 0. So by transcendental, this one is equal to 1. So therefore, this is 0 minus 1 times sine x. And therefore, that is equal to negative sine of x. Thank you.